Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Doc Ed Padama and this time we will be discussing research title ideas for the month of August 2022 in relation to the opening of classes or to the start of classes in the public school, which will commence in August 22. This particular video will be made available starting on that particular date, August 22, for students who will be having the research writing and are required to submit proposed research titles. So this particular video will be able to guide you in crafting your own research title. The content of this video will be sample research title ideas, actual research title ideas, and focus issues that you can use in crafting your research title. If you want to learn how to craft your research title, I have a separate video in my YouTube channel at Docket Padama, which is entitled Formulating Your Research Title in Less Than 30 Minutes. You can check that out. That would be a more comprehensive discussion with regard to the formulation of research titles. So let's go on to our discussion for today. So as I mentioned earlier, I will be presenting two types of ideas wherein you can base your proposed research titles for this particular month, because as time goes by, some of these topics and issues would not be valid and viable anymore. Like COVID-19, since we are already in the post-pandemic stage wherein COVID-19 has already reached its peak, even though it's still coming back, or using COVID-19 as part of your study would not present viable and valid research gaps anymore. So most of the time, research title that has COVID-19 and pandemic, the words COVID-19 and pandemic in the research title are already rejected as a research title proposal. So the following are presented as sample research title. So let's start with sample research title ideas. So the first one, the research title ideas, for it to be valid and presents or has this characteristic of a research gap, this should be current. So what is happening? Observe what is happening in your environment, and you can do this by watching news, reading news, articles online, and so on and so forth. So in this case, all of these are based on the issues that are currently occurring within the country and also internationally outside of the country. So the first one is DepEd Order number 65 Series 2010 for teachers or students. Okay, for teachers and students. DepEd Order 65 Series 2010 is the non-requirement of the use and wearing of school uniforms of students during the time of pandemic. So it was referred, this particular DepEd Order Series 2010 was referred to as the basis for that particular order of non-wearing or non-use of school uniforms. So it is not compulsory, you are not required. Therefore, this particular research title idea will dwell on that particular issue. So what would be the effect of this DepEd order to the academic performance of students? Then again, closed in parenthesis is the school, which means it is optional. If the issue is too sensitive, then ethical committees might not allow you to use the name of the school. If not, there are also research titles wherein they will allow you to use the name of the school. So you have to consult with the research committee. Again, the non-use or non-compulsory use of research of school uniform and its effect on the academic performance of student is the first research title idea that you can use for your proposed research title. The next one, congruence, is the alignment. The alignment of K-12 graduates. We are having problems with K-12 graduates regarding the employability of the K-12 or K-12 graduates. So this particular research title will try to address that. What is wrong with the curriculum of K-12 with regard to its congruency to the needs of the industry. So the title is Congruence of K-12 Graduates of Specify the School, because you cannot propose a research title if you do not identify specific school, or else the coverage of your research proposal would be blown out of proportion. So as much as possible, specify a school, a district, a region, depending on the level of research that you are conducting to the industry needs. The industry needs is the company that requires students' skills and competencies. Is the need of the are the need of the industry congruent to the graduates being produced by the K-12 graduates? Maybe this is the reason, this is the main reason why K-12 graduates are having a hard time finding a job, because of its congruency with the industry needs. Or aside from that, there may also other reasons that may arise from this particular study regarding skills training and so on and so forth. So that's the second research title idea. The next one is level of preparedness, the level of preparedness of school for face-to-face classes. This is more on school operation. How prepared are the school with regard to the implementation of face-to-face classes? As of to date, it is set on the month of November. So the opening of classes is August, and the full implementation of face-to-face classes will commence starting the month of November. So in relation to that, since it is not yet or has not yet been implemented, you can already propose a research title based on this particular issue. Level of preparedness of school for face-to-face classes. The next one, the fourth research title idea, level of competency of teachers in name of school in blended learning modality. So this is more specific in terms or in comparison to the third research title idea, the competency of teachers in relation to their preparedness to blended learning modality. How prepared are teachers in implementing blended learning modality? When we talk about blended learning modality, this is not pure online learning modality. This will have to be with limited or flexible face-to-face, together with the use of online and technology. Okay, the next one, number 5, escalating China-US tension and Philippine sovereignty. The effect of the escalating tension between US and China and its effect to Philippine sovereignty. This is more on a larger level regarding, this may dwell on the perception of citizens of a particular country, specifically the Philippines, since it is stated there. You can do this on a qualitative method of research. Okay? So you will be gathering the perception of your respondents regarding this particular issue. So again, these are research title ideas suggested for you to dwell upon, for you to be able to formulate and craft your own research title. And then, aside from this, I also mentioned earlier that aside from research title ideas, I will also be presenting focus issues that you can use. Focus issues that you can use in order to craft your research title. So what are these areas or focus areas of research? So you can use the following. Number 1, alternative fuel or renewable energy like solar, hydroelectric, or wind-powered energy source, and so on and so forth, because of the rising prices of fuel. Again, these are issues that you can focus upon, and then you can create your research title based on these focus topics or issues. So that's number one. Number two, alternative food source. Aside from commercial food sources, what are other food sources that you can recommend in your particular study, so that it would address the shortage of food, okay, or the high prices of food. So that's on alternative food source. Food security in relation to alternative food source. So what is the government doing with regard to food security, or how do they try to mitigate the increasing prices of basic commodities like food? Agriculture. There is a shortage of food, but there are agricultural products that goes to waste. Tomatoes, vegetables, fruits that does not reach the market and therefore disregarded. There are tons of vegetables disregarded despite the fact that there is a shortage of food. Why is this so? So try to investigate in relation to what is happening in the area of agriculture in the Philippines. Another is the prevalence of electronic vehicles. Vehicles, not only electronic motorcycles, scooters, but also the entry of electronic cars. Okay, so how would this affect the society, the Filipinos in general? Okay, and what are the um, rules that can be formulated, or the laws that can be formulated in order to not just prevent the development of technology, but also to protect the consumers. Okay, so this is more on electronic vehicles. Another is cancel culture, which is not that new. So you have already heard cancel culture before. So you can investigate this, and this will fall under qualitative research. Why is it, I don't know if you can call it, embedded in the behavior and attitude of citizens or community with regard to cancel culture? What triggers cancel culture, and so on and so forth? And then you can contrast this with the effect of cancel culture to, you try to find another variable. And then the other one is the Great Resignation. The Great Resignation of 2021, where there are a lot of employees, company, industry employees that have resigned from their position despite the fact that they really need their salary in order to compensate for what has happened during the pandemic, but despite of that, they still opted or chose to resign. Why is that? That is why these areas are what we call the research focus. Try to find out why did they resign despite of the fact of where pandemic is still happening, and most people do not have this source of income, and yet they still resign. Inflation. Inflation also affects the economy, and therefore affects the citizen and society in our country. Okay, so you can also try to investigate on this particular issue. And another is climate change, which is also being experienced and felt all over the world, not only here in our country. So effect of climate change may also be related to what is happening in terms of natural calamities in our country, like earthquakes, floods, increase of humidity and heat, and so on and so forth. Okay, so again, these research focus are suggested depending on the area that you are investigating or that you are related to right now, or based on your interest. Again, my final advice is that when you choose a research title or a research topic, make sure you are interested in the research proposal that you will be conducting. Okay, so again, before we end, please do not forget to help my YouTube channel at Doc at Padama by clicking that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to alert you when a new video has been uploaded, just like this one. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe, keep learning, and I will see you on our next video. Bye!